Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Funfold Friday. I hope you've had a fabulous weekend. Oh, I said Funfold Friday. I meant Simply Stamping Sunday. I wish it was Friday, and I still had all the things done that I've done, but it is Sunday, so we're getting ready for the work week. But I had a great weekend. It was so beautiful here in the Northeast, and I hope it was just as beautiful where you are. So, let's see. Let me just move my camera a little bit over this way. Sorry about my hand being there. Straightening up my desk, I moved my camera. See if that makes a difference. Okay, that looks like we've got enough space. So I want to start by showing you what I've been working on this weekend. So I got together this morning with my good friend Leslie, who's also a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and we did some crafting together using each other's supplies. We like to do that so that we can get a variety of samples. And I usually don't do really bright cards, but we did today. So this one is super bright. It uses let me grab my catalog. Oh, I think I moved my catalog. Well, I won't grab my catalog. This is the stamp set and die, the bundle that makes the rosettes. So this is just a little card saying this is your day. She also has the airplane, the Adventurous Sky suite. I used some of the, I don't know if you can see them flashing, some of the iridescent gems on this one. But this is a fun fold, so you open this part of the card and then open to the side like that. So a lot of fun with that card. Here's another really bright card that we did with the Full of Life paper and the label punch. All we did was punch out some labels and arrange them on the front of the card. We have some Blackberry Bliss here and some Lemon Lime Twist, another bright one. Here's a Spotlight on Nature card that just uses some more Designer Series paper on the inside. Really pretty. We made several using the Country Woods collection. So here's another fun fold. Let me just, so it opens like this. And if you notice, we have the birds facing each other in this particular card, and I'll be showing this technique, how you can get an image to face the other way. So I just have the little bird sticking out, kind of holding the card closed. Here's another Country Woods collection card. Just a really simple card using the bird and some of the flowers. And then another one, it's another fun fold that holds that we have the flap stick under the leaves. So that's really pretty. And another fun fold with the country flowers or the Country Wood suite. Just a Z fold, but really pretty. This card uses, it's just a little tiny tag card, but it uses the Hearts and Hugs. So just taking a tag and cutting it so that it makes a little card, and then using the same the badgers. These are all the Hearts and Hugs, sending birthday hugs. And look at all those flowers making this beautiful, like, thought balloon above this little guy's head. We have the walruses sending a big hug. And the mouse, another one sending the big hug. So cute. I love these heart dies here, and how you can have the designer series paper show underneath. This one's sending birthday hugs. And I could just hug you, the walruses again. So just to give you an idea of what we did today. So let's get started on what we're going to be using this month. We are going to be using my favorite stamp set from the new catalog. And I don't usually use a outline stamp on Simply Stamping Sunday. I like to use the colors and all that good stuff, but I'm going to show you how you can easily add colors without all the tools. So this is the Spotlight on Nature set. It is a cling stamp set. Now it only has 2 sentiments, Dear Friend and Thanks. So I didn't want, because June has 5 weeks, I didn't want to just use those 2 sentiments over the month. So I'm also using the photopolymer stamp set Unbounded Love that has a lot of what could be considered the front of the card sayings, and then there's other things that you can put inside the card. So let's get started. On the first Sunday of the month, I usually do some very simple stamping with just plain cardstock and paper. So I have here, and for tonight's cards, I'm going to be using 3 pieces. I'm going to make 3 cards tonight. So this is a piece of the basic white thick cardstock, and it measures 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a piece that measures a basic white cardstock, not the thick, that measures 4 by 5.25. And then I have a piece of the Shy Shamrock that measures 1/2 inch by 5.25 inches. Okay, let's get started. So for this card, I am going to use the Shy Shamrock ink, and I am going to be using the leaves from this stamp set. This is a great stamp that you can use just with a colored ink pad, and it gives the leaves enough color. So I'm going to have 1 leaf. I'm going to stamp 2 leaves on this, and so it's going to look like this. You can see that it gives the great color. And then I am going to be, before I stamp my greetings, I am going to add my piece of, the small piece of the shamrock. You could do this with if you think of this as kind of like a card sketch, you could do this with any color cardstock that you would want. And you would get the same effect. And so I'm going to have at the top of my stamped panel, Dear Friend. And then I'm going to have the thanks down towards the bottom. So that's the front of my card. I'm going to grab some dimensionals and just put those on the back. I attended another online stamping retreat this weekend, and one of the presenters, when she used dimensionals, said she was dimensionalizing her cards. I thought that was kind of funny. So like I said, the first Sunday of the month, they are quick and easy cards. So now, this is just going to go right on the front of the card like that. And there we have it, card number 1. So I'll set this aside. Let's go on to card number 2. With this card, as I said, I will be using the exact same size of thick basic white cardstock. The thick basic white and the thick vanilla for me are they work so much better. They have such a heavier weight than our basic white cardstock, so it gives you a nice sturdy card base for your cards. So I'm just going to I'm going to use the same stamp again. So I'm just cleaning off the ink. There we go. All right, so what else I have is I have a piece of cardstock. This is the Summer Splash. It's one of my favorite new ink colors, and it measures 3 3/4 by 5, and then I have a smaller piece that's just 1/8 of an inch smaller, so it's 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. All right, I'm going to do my stamping on this. So this time I'm going to use the Summer Splash ink, and we are going to ink this up. I'm going to have one set of leaves going up the side, and I'm going to have another coming down. So going up, and I want this coming down. There we go, perfect. And this is where I'm making a birthday card. So I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Unbounded Love. And I am going to put this, well, it doesn't really matter, sort of in the middle here. I'll show you the difference on the one I made. I left myself a little more room in the middle. So this is going to go right. I'm going to center this. There we go. And then this is just going to go, I'm not even going to dimensionalize the backing. I'm just going to use my Stampin' seal and put this on the front. And the original one that I made, you can see I had a little less of the leaves showing and gave a little more room in the middle, but they both look great, and I will use both of them for my birthday wishes. Okay, on to the last card. Unfortunately, we all need sympathy cards, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Again, I have a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock, the thick basic white cardstock, and then I have a piece of basic white and a piece of basic black. My basic black measures 3.5 by 4 3/4, and this one is going to be measuring 3 3/8 by 4 3/4, I think. Yes, 4 3/4. All right, so I'm going to use the flower stamp for this one. When I have a larger ink pad, a stamp, and a smaller ink pad, I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black. I usually turn the stamp upside down and pat it all over. And I am going to stamp this right in the middle. I'm tilting it a little bit because I want to have room for the greeting. So there we go. We have the floral part of the stamp, and the greeting again is from Unbounded Love, and it just says "with sympathy." So I'm going to ink that up in the black as well. Just make sure I get it all. And I'm stamping that in the bottom. All right, so this is going to go on piece of basic black. And then I'm going to show you a little trick. All you need is a black marker to do this. It can be, you want it to be a fine point, so it could be a ultrafine Sharpie marker. It could be the micron markers that I use sometimes when I do when I do Zentangle. Today since I have most of those markers at school, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Right marker. This is a black marker that sells by itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in certain places around my design, and I'm going to just add some dots. So I'm going to kind of go on the outside. You could do this any way you want. I'm using 5 dots. I believe odd numbers are better than the even numbers. I was going to do just 3, but I found when I was doing this yesterday, I found that 3 just wasn't enough, so I went to 5. And it really just adds a nice difference to your stamped image. So let me just give you an idea of what that looks like, if that makes it easier for you to see what I did. I've got to perfect this holding things up to the camera. But just those little dots add a little bit of interest and some texture to the front of the card. So again, I'm just going to put this on the front of my card, center it, and then what I'm going to do is add some more of those dots. And so I'm going to think here with the corner, and I'm going to go 2 in and 2 down, and just put some dots right around the corner. Yesterday, I'll show you what I did. I did just straight lines. And I thought today I would do corners. So you can see the difference today. Like I said, last night I just did straight lines, and today I did the corners. So that is it for a very fast-paced Simply Stamping Sunday. I will be back next week, and we will be making, adding a little more color to our images, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So there are some cool ways you can add color to outline stamps without owning all of the different kinds of ways to blend color. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a private group. It begins with ink and paper card making fun tomorrow night with my first edition. This is going to be a little mini series of using paste embossing. And I'll be back Friday night for Funfold Friday. And of course, I'll be back next Sunday night for Simply Stamping Sunday. I hope you have a great week, everyone, and I will see some of you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.